Okay, well, thank you for tuning in to watching my tutorial about using Google Analytics. Let me just get right into this just to show you. Okay, so good evening. My name is Jacob Robledo. I'm working on presenting the Google Analytics side for this assignment, a presentation assignment. So let's get into it. First thing first is, what is Google Analytics? Now, numerous of you all have heard about Google Analytics and are wondering about what it does and what it can do in general for you. So in my presentation, reading this off, it says, have you ever wondered how to track your website's activities and see how many people found your website? Well, it's your lucky day. I'm here to give you a simple understanding what Google Analytics can do for you. Google Analytics is a free tool that can be used for tracking users' activity for your websites, or in other terms, website traffic. So understanding how website traffic works, it's very important to know how well people are finding your website through Google search. Many businesses or blog sites, things like that, they all have a domain name, so they can be found through Google. Now, the second part is using Google Analytics is an important part to see how many people are getting towards your website. If you don't know, then it's really hard to tell how many people are arriving and seeing your content that you're presenting. So how does it relate to websites? How does Google Analytics relate to websites? Well, it is a digital marketing item. It's kind of strange to think at first, but in the end, digital marketing and web design development connect really well together. In general, digital marketing connects a lot with everything in the digital world. So, web design and development is a little branch to connect to or towards web design or towards digital marketing. So they go hand in hand. So why does it matter? So Google in general is a center of locating anything and everything that businesses have ever been registered online. So any business identity always have to have a domain name or anything like that to be located. From a landscaping company to a restaurant, like usually these would have a domain name. And in my understanding of Google, it's the centerpiece of finding your business. If you don't have a website, you're not going to be found. And it's going to be very difficult for people to find your business if there's no website to identify who you are. This applies to anything and any identification of of certain organizations, from schools to I'd say, or what's it called, like religious institutes, things like that. Everyone and anything, if they want to be found, it would be through Google, and Google is the biggest tool to locate anything in regards of a domain name or business name or any certain type of identity. So statistic-wise, on HubSpot, there's a link describing that, details there. Usually there are around 72% average consumers using Google to locate businesses within a 5-mile radius. And the reason why I'm explaining why Google is the key is because that's where everything starts. If there wasn't a Google, there wouldn't be any traffic, arriving towards your website. Any search engines from Bing, Google, Yahoo, everything has a link to connect to. Without it, then how could you know where to find the data of how many people are arriving towards your website? So what does Google Analytics, what can Google Analytics do for you? Well, Google Analytics is a very useful tool of collecting data and tracking data and for specific assignments. If you want to see how many users visited your website in a week, you can set a time frame to report that turn data for you. And that's pretty handy for sure, because I don't think I'd like to pay money for a service just to do that, whereas Google can provide that already for you. And it's very generous of them to provide a tool that is free for everyone to use. So it shows how many people can have been new users, per se, arrive to your website, and seeing how the quantity are for that week. Bounce rate. Well, bounce rate, it can track how long people have been on the website. The higher the bounce rate is, the bad indicator. So if 100% bounce rate, meaning there are people leaving your websites on the first click of locating your website. Whereas a lower bounce rate means that there's a lower rate of people leaving, and they are pretty much enjoying the website. They love using it. I'd say the user experience is pretty high, which user experience in terms of web design and development is very important. So if you have a low user bounce rate, it's meaning that people love going to your website. Conversions. Conversions is a great indicator showing how many people have purchased or bought a product from your website, such as e-commerce businesses. E-commerce businesses are all very popular now these days. E-commerce businesses sell products online, such as Amazon or any drop shipping company that sells t-shirts or merchandise, things like that. There's a whole lot of websites out there. I happen to create my own as well, making a drop shipping t-shirt company, just selling t-shirts. And I actually did this process of tracking how many people arrived to my website and seeing how many purchased the product or so, and seeing that indication of conversion process. Now that does show on the conversion setup on Google Analytics, it does show how the people clicked from A to B and to C, like A to B to C. It's like the front page to the product page and then towards the checkout page. It shows those indications on how the customer went from the beginning to the end and how they purchased that product. Now, understanding how Google Analytics is, there are key indicators that we must pay attention to. Now, key indicators are called, in terms of marketing, KPIs, key performing indicators. KPIs show what key objectives are performing and indicating success of a business or as a business. So in statistic or analytical terms, like it's showing what sections are performing the best in the business realm. So for say, if you have so many conversions within a week, that means your products are selling a lot. If you're having low conversions of the week, then your products are pretty much out of date, or they're not selling well due to some errors or some manufactural issues. So it's one thing to be aware about, is seeing what affects your customers' experience with your website and what you can do to improve it. So for example, if your website was down due to some malware or something like that, you would see that issue of customers not arriving towards your website. Now, the best thing would be just sending out a message advising your customers through email saying the website's down for maintenance and we'll be back once it's finished, and we'll let you know about that. It's kind of difficult to help other people understand that there are website issues, but in the long run, it's best to keep a good connection with your customers, so on and so forth. So these key indicators, sidetracked a little bit off there, but just to help understand how these key indicators work, they all have a purpose to serve. So you'll see certain key indicators that are crucial to your website's performance in tracking users to your websites. Top 5 that you're looking for are the following, which is called revenues per client, average class attendance, client retention rate, profit margin, and average daily attendance. So revenue per client is pretty much how many times a client has purchased a product from your website, and just showing how much money you've earned from them. Average class attendance, pretty much how many times people return or have attended to your website. Usually daily, weekly, or monthly, all depends what you want to see. Client retention rate is showing how many clients have been returning to your website or have been continuing being loyal customers to your services and such. Profit margin is showing how much you've profited in total of your products being sold online, etc. Just showing how much total you've earned within a month or within a week or within a year, etc. There's just so many options to look into. And average daily attendance, pretty much close to the same system of ACA. Average daily attendance showing how many people have been attending your website on a daily basis. So these are pretty nice indicators to check on, just to understand how well your business is performing. Now, in the beginning, you won't see these numbers spiking up or anything like that unless you're a pretty well-known business. But in the beginning, you'll see, the basic type of indicators, which would be new users arriving towards your website, and so on and so forth. So I'll show you how that would be in the beginning, and later on this presentation. So the number one thing here, I think this would be the biggest crucial item to help you all understand, is how to link your website to Google Analytics. Now, going back towards your HTML side of website design, this is where you will put your global site tag. So that's what it's called. So in Analytics help, so pretty much the help desk for Google Analytics, you will see these instructions on how to link your website to Google Analytics. So the first step is sign into Google Analytics, locate admin, locate the account column, locate property column, click on tracking info or tracking code, and then copy that tracking code and paste it to the head of the website pages. So if you want to do this for every single page, then so be it. You are free to do so. But if you just want to track one page, then the freedom is yours to choose that way. And it's pretty interesting how that works in the process of linking your the script towards the to the header. But it's pretty simple. It's not too complicated in the end. So how to use it. So this is the good part. I'm going to show you how to use Google Analytics. It takes a lot of practice and exploration to understand how Google Analytics works, but it's pretty simple over time, and you'll catch on pretty fairly. So I'll show you a demo how to use Google Analytics and show for yourself. Now, Google, so let me just back off from here. Google has generously showed us an option to locate or to track a testing analytics side. It's kind of like a little dummy setup. So let me show you that here. Okay. All right, here we go. So this is Google Analytics. If you haven't logged into one or created one, I'd say so you can create one for free. There's no cost or anything like that. Now, to locate this demo account, you just select this top section here, and it'll show the demo account, Google Merchandise Store, in the select merchandise or master view. So master view just shows like a demo reel or demo setup of how a fake merchandise store is created by Google and seeing how it's performing. From what we're seeing, this is the home page showing how many users, how much revenue, conversion rate, and sessions have had pretty much throughout this last 7 days from what we're seeing here. Currently, as the demo shows, there's 197 people using this website. And you can see, the total top active pages showing how many people are on the website at this moment, which, reminding that this is just a demo page. So it kind of shows something weird off, like the indicators don't show exactly, the same thing, but you get the gist of it. So real time, you can see the real-time data showing right now of how many people are arriving towards your websites. So it's just a pretty brief, pretty simple summarized setup here. You could show the top active pages. Your top active pages will show up here. So for example, if you had index HTML, which would be your homepage or so, something like that, it'd show how many people are currently on that website. And these are the numbers of people currently on the website there. So the other top item is showing where they're coming from. So this is the demographic side where it shows the top population of users are coming from. And you can see that here from locations tab. You can click there, you can track how many people are active on your website, where they're coming from, and seeing how many attend on a weekly or daily basis or monthly basis and everything. So that's a really nice tool. So in the United States, you'll set your demographics to be here. If you want to just be, a business to be local in the United States, if you want to sell your products within the nation itself, or if you want to go worldwide, that is for sure an option as well. That all depends on the certain people you want to sell to of your products. All right, so you can take a look here on your audience, just showing how many people in general are coming from each part of the world. This is a really important setup or location to find how many users have arrived within a week. These are in total, these are the new users that have arrived within the week as well, and as well as sessions. So these are pretty nice to know, how many people arrived to your website and how many are new, etc. Now, like we mentioned before, bounce rate, there's a key indicator right there. So bounce rate is how many people arrived to your website. So it's 42, it's kind of like in the middle, which is not bad. So average amount of people are attending, 42% are not leaving your website. So it's a good indicator there. But there's so many things you can go through, how, if they speak a different language, you can go to behaviors, see like new versus returning. So people who are new to the website, those who have returned to the website, you can see that data here. You can see what type of device they're using. So overview, they can be on a laptop or desktop, a mobile device or tablet. So you can see these difference of type of devices. And if you want to go in more into detail, you can see what type of phone they're using, which could be Apple, Google, or Samsung, any type of platform. It can be tracked here and shows how many users are on these type of devices. So it's pretty nice to see those type of data breaking up there. But then let me show you how to get to that part of connecting your website to Google Analytics. Remember, we went to admin. You go to get to this section here. Let me take a look. See tracking info, tracking code. So this is the testing one, but this is where you'd find your tracking ID. But this is where you need to find. This is the global site tag. You would have to copy this and paste this on the header. And it shows you right here where to paste that on the header. But once you paste it, then you have to do a test, send a test traffic. Once that test traffic comes back as positive, then it shows your website's fully functional and connected towards Google Analytics, and everything will be quite easy to manage from there on out. But this is pretty much the simple explanation of how Google Analytics works. You can pretty much explore and see more into it, seeing how many people are coming from, traffic coming from everywhere around the world, seeing the hottest time frame when they're arriving, which could be definitely helpful when to promote your product through Google Ads or something like that. And it shows here how many page views have people, looked into page value, seeing how many people can make. You put a value, how much money you could make off of a website if you were to sell products. If you had a product that was, a bow tie or a t-shirt, and you just want it to be that first item they want to, like that's the value you want to get in that first page, like the home page. It's like setting up a value for each page to see how much you can get in return. But you can see here, like the products, most products that people have bought, so on and so forth, and the campaign. So campaigns meaning the Google Ads. So you can configure your Google Ads to connect towards your websites. The more money you invest, the more people they'll reach out to, and the more publications or more traffic you receive to your website. So pretty much Google Ads in general is kind of like a little boost towards your website, promoting your website, which is nice. But in the digital marketing terms, SEO would be pretty much a good thing to go over, which someone will be going over that this week or next week soon. But it's really nice to understand these terminology and helping your business grow. If you wanted to create a website and base your business off that website, this would be the greatest tool to use, just to get a base of tracking your statistics on your website. So going back to here, so we go back to the presentation. All right. So I know, just a brief demo of how that worked, how Google Analytics works. My final thoughts about Google Analytics is, such a nice tool. It's very reliable to understand, your data, where it's coming, your traffic, and understanding where they're coming from. There's so much you can do with Google Analytics. For me, I've learned how to create a landing page and connect that landing page towards Google Analytics. And if you want to create your own funnel, which is funnel setup is, another topic, but funnel is pretty much guiding your customers to purchase a product in the end. So from page A to page D or Z, whatever, you're guiding that customer down to the last final page where they make that final payment for the product. But there's so many things that, like I said before, digital marketing and web design and development connect and work hand in hand with each other. So there's a free course so you can learn Google Analytics and get certified. And pretty much that would be, the final wrap up of this presentation. So I really appreciate the time y'all had to watch my presentation, and I hope this would be very educational for y'all in the future. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and thank you for watching. Have a nice night.